Our class today will look at time value of money, where we're going to assess the viability of keeping money in exchange for time at a prescribed interest rate, which in most cases will be the nominal interest rate. So the basics of this topic basically explain how to treat interest rates. That will be as follows. We have what we call simple interest, which is given by PTR. We have compound interest, which is simply given by the future value minus the present value. The amount we're expecting tomorrow minus the amount we're expecting today. And the effective annual rate, which is simply given by 1 plus R by M minus 1. So to discount is to either earn or accrue interest. So interest can be accrued annually, semi-annually, which is twice, quarterly, which is 4 times, monthly, which is 12 times, weekly, which is 52 times. So whenever compounding is happening more than once, our interest rate is always divided by the number of compoundings, whereas the time is multiplied by the number of compoundings. So if we're given money now, principal, which is 1,000 kwacha, at an interest rate of say 10% for a period of time, which is 3 years. So we can calculate the future value under simple interest, future value under compound interest. So simple interest simply tells us that to find the interest we're going to earn is PTR. The principal we have is 1,000. The time we have is 3 years. And the interest rate is 10%. So computing this is going to give us an interest of 300 kwacha, meaning the future value we would have will be 1,300, because the 1,000 we had, we have earned an interest of 300 kwacha. So the time is usually in years. If it was in weeks, we would have divided by 52, so that's 52 weeks. If it was in months, we would have divided by 12 months. If it was in quarters, divided by 4, semi-annually twice. So future value, on the other hand, is given by the formula present value 1 plus R to the power T, if this is compounded annually. So the 1,000 kwacha, and here we have 1.10 to the power 3. So 1.10 to the power 3. So this simply means when we multiply that by 3, we're going to get 1331. So meaning our future value, we expect to have 1331, the interest is 331. Now, future value, sometimes if it's compounded more than once, is given by the formula 1 plus R over M, and MT. So if we are told that A is compounded semi-annually, what this simply means is that our M there is going to be 2. So remember, the money we started with is 1,000 kwacha. The interest rate is 10%. The time is 3 years. So this will mean we're going to do what? Calculate our future value as follows. 1,000, 1 plus R, our R is 10%. Our semi-annually, we're dividing the interest rate by what? By 2. Why? Because it's a semi-annual compounding. So in this case, we're going to have 1,000. This is 1.05. Our what? Time. Our time in this case is what? 6, because we multiplied by 3. So this therefore will give us a higher value that we're going to get, of course. So what are we going to have? We're going to have 1.05 to the power 6 times 1,000. So here we're going to get 1,340. So one thing you need to understand is that the more we compound, the higher the value. So could somebody tell me the same present value of 1,000 and we're given the interest rate of 10% and we're told that this is after 3 years and it's compounded quarterly. What is going to happen? What formula are we going to use? Future value is equal to what? Present value 1 plus R over M, and here MT. Quarterly means we are going to earn interest, compound interest. How many times? Our M is what? Quarterly. What is our M on a quarterly basis? Anyone? What is our M? It's compounded quarterly.
4 times.
4 times, yes. So where there is M, we're going to put 4, and 4 times what? The time of 3. It doesn't mean that now the time changes to 12 years, but it's that we're earning 12 times. So divided by 4, 10% with what? 2.5%. So here we have 1.025 to the power 4. To the power 4 times 1,000. So here we're going to have 1345. So this is the future value. You are seeing the amount is increasing the more you compound. If we are given the same parameters, 1,000, the interest rate is what? 10%. The time is what? 3 years, but we are compounded continuously. For continuous compounding, future value is given by the present value, e to the power RT. So here we have 1,000, our e, our interest rate is 10%, and our time is 3. So the e is there in the calculator. E is there on the calculator. So 0.1 times 3, then you put e to the power answer, 1 point times 1,000, you're going to get 1350. So you're seeing that the more you compound, the higher the future value. So what I'm going to play around here is the substitute formula. Okay, so how long does 1,000 kwacha triple? How long will 1,000 kwacha triple at 10%? 10% compounded annually. So here, what are they looking for? How long is looking for what? Time. So we're going to say future value is equal to present value 1 plus R. So to triple is multiplied by 3. So meaning if our present value is 1,000, our future value definitely should be 3,000. Our interest rate has been given as 10%, and the time we don't know. So we divide both sides first by 1,000 kwacha so that we get rid of this. So we're going to have 3 is equal to 1.10 to the power time. To solve for t, we introduce logs on both sides. This is log 3, this is log 1.10 to the power t. So this one, the log is the only one that causes an exponent to fall down. So the t will come here. We want to have log what? 1.10. So how do we find t in this case? We're going to find t by dividing both sides by 1.10. So log 3 over log 1.10 will give us our t. The time is always in years. So you punch your log 3 divided by log 1.10. So this will give us 11.52 years. Are we getting what's happening? Using the same formula where calculating.
Yes.
our T. Sometimes they'll give you the present value is 1,000. The future value is what? 2,000. And the time is what? 4 years. Compounded annually. Find the time is 4 years. Find the interest rate. Everything has been given. We go back to the same formula. Future value is equal to present value. 1 plus what? R the power time. This time, the future value is 2,000. Present value is 1,000. The interest rate we don't know. But the time is what? Time is 4 years. So we divide this in there, we're going to have a 2. We cannot touch the R because it's protected by the brackets. However, we know that there's an exponent there, so we need to find the reciprocal. If there's 4 there, we do 1 over 4. If there's 5 there, we do 1 over 5, just to cancel out the exponent. So 2 to the power 1 over 4. We know 1 over 4 is same as what? 0.25. So if we're going to power 2 to the power 0.25, we're going to have 1.189. So 1.189 minus 1 is 0.189. So multiply this by 100 because interest rates are a percentage. We're going to have 18.9%. So this means that at 18.9%, 1,000 will double in 4 years. So this is subject to a formula. All right. Lastly, sometimes we're not given the present value. We're given the future value, which is what? 5,000. The interest rate has been given maybe by 8%, and the time has been given by 3 years. So how do we find the present value? Present value is equal to future value, 1 plus R to the power time. So our future value is 5,000. Our interest rate is 8 to the power 3. So 1.08 to the power 3. Then we divide the 5,000 by the answer we're going to get. So this is how we get 8969. So this is our present value. So we are just using these questions to calculate our present value, future value, etc. So from what I've explained now, I want you to choose any of these, 1, 2, 3, up to I. Pick any of them and you can lead us through. Which one do you want to pick? Let's look at question part E. All right. Part E. So in part E, we've been given the following. Suppose Californians' population is 30 million. Its population is expected to grow by 2%. How long will it take to double? What are we given in that question? And what are we going to use that information to calculate?
So we've been given the present value, the future value, and the rate.
Let's start with question A, sorry. Question A. What are we, let's start from the beginning. Question A, we've been given what? Find the future value of 1,000 invested to earn 10% in 5 years. So what have we been given there? Our present value is what?
1,000.
1,000, correct. And our, what is our given? Our interest rate is what? 10%. Our time
10%.
is
T is 5.
So how to calculate the future value? How to calculate the future value, anyone? How to calculate the future value? I've explained that. What's the formula for future value?
So the formula for future value is the future value is equal to present value, open bracket 1 plus r to the power t.
The value is equal to present value 1 plus r to the power t. So what's our present value in this case? 1,000. What is our
1,000.
10%? And the time is what? 5 years. So when you compute that, what are you getting?
Did I tell you?
Pardon?
$1,210.
10. Right. Let's look at question number 1. Cow who recently won 10,000 in the lottery wants to buy a car in 5 years. He estimates the car will cost 16,100. What interest rate must he earn to afford this? So what are we looking for in this question? What are we looking for in this question? So what are we given? What is this 10,000? So our present value is 10,000, right? The time is what? 5 years. And what is this 16,000? It is there?
So the future value.
Yes. All right. So what interest rate must he earn to afford? So we're looking for R. So future value, what's the formula? Future value is equal to what? Present value 1 plus R to the power time. So our future value is 16,105. Our present value is 10,000. Then here our interest rate we don't know. Our time is what? 5 years. So what do we do? Divide both sides by 10,000. 2.6105 is equal to 1 plus R to the power 5. We can't just say R. What do we do at this point? To get to the R, this we know is the power 1. So we multiply by the reciprocal to open the brackets. So 1 plus R is equal to what? 1.6105 to the power what? 0.2. Because 1 over 5 is same as 0.2. So 1.6105 to the power 0.2 to get 1.09999. So to make our subject, let's subtract 0.999 minus 1. So our R is what? 9.999%, which is the same as 10%. Are we following?
No.
So when you,
Excuse me, sir.
when we cancel this here, the brackets came out. Then here we are divided both sides by 10,000, even here 10,000. Even here 10,000. That's how this cancelled. So here we had 1.6125. There's an invisible one there.
Okay.
1 over 5. So 1 over 5 is same as 0.2. So if you want, you can even just put 1.65 to the power 1 over 5. It's the same thing, or 0.2. You're going to get 1.0999. So when this one goes subtract there, we're going to get R is equal to 0.0999. So since it's an interest rate, we multiply by 100 to get 9.99%. Is that clear now? Is that clear?
No. I have a question on the reciprocal. Is it introduced on both sides?
Yes, on both sides. If there was a 4, would have done it.
That's where you are saying one is invisible, so we should always assume there is one on the left side, not so.
Yes, all numbers are the power 1. If there's not
Okay,
invisible one.
okay. For me, I'm okay now.
Okay, let's go to question number 2. So we're told that Bernard will receive 10,000 3 years from now. He can earn 8% on his investment, so that the appropriate discount rate is 8%. What is the present value of these future cash flows? Okay. So what are we given here? What do we have? Bernard will receive 10,000 3 years from now. So this is what?
Future value.
Future value,
So future value is what? 10,000.
10,000.
10,000
What else are we told? Time period is what?
time.
3 years.
3 years.
Interest rate is what? 8%. All right. So what is the present value? What's the formula for present value? Future value, 1 plus what? R to the power time. So 10,000 and 1.08 to the power 3.
Power 3.
Are you following? 1.08 to the power 3 and 10,000 divided by the answer. We're going to get what? 7,138. This is money. 0.32. All right, let's go to the third question. We're told that the customer at Trafficking Corporation wants to buy a boat today. Rather than paying immediately, he will pay 50,000 in 3 years. It will cost 38,600 to build a tugboat immediately. What interest rate would Trafficking Corp charge to neither gain a loss, neither gain or lose? So what are they looking for here? So what are we given in this question?
We are given future value, present value, and the time.
Future value, 50,000. Present value, 38, 6, 10. Time, 3 years. What are we looking for? The interest rate.
R.
What interest rate? So what's the formula we're going to use? Future value is with present value, 1 plus R to the power time. So here we have 50,000. Then we have 38, 610. Then here we have 1 plus R to the power. So this is similar to question what? Question number 2. So at this point, what do we do? We divide both sides by 38, 610. 38 what? 610. All together. 50,000, 1, 2, 3 divided by 38, 610. So what do we get here? 1.295. Let's go to 1 plus R to the power 3. Now, There's an invisible one there. So what do we do at this point? We multiply by the reciprocal on both sides. So the power 1 divided by 3 if you want as a fraction. So meaning here we're going to have 1.8999 is equal to 1 plus r. So when this one goes inside to subtract, so r is equal to 1.8999 minus 1. So this will be what? 0 there. This will be 0.8999, which is 8.999%. Or to the nearest, our interest rate is 9%. So it will require an interest rate of 9% to neither gain a loss nor a gain on that amount.
Mm.
Are we together?
Tangwa.
Are we together?
Yes, we are Collins.
Yes, we are.
Sorry, there was a similar question before this one. Was it question 1 or 2?
Question 2.
Yes, question 2.
Yes, this one.
Where is it? Is this?
Hmm,
No.
This one.
Okay. Okay. I've seen where I had the mix up. The second last, I did not see the 0. I got 1.999 instead of 1.0. I've gotten it.
All right, thank you. All right, let's go to question number 4. Question number 4, we're told suppose we're interested in purchasing an asset of 50,000. We only have a 25 pin. If we can earn 12% on this 25 pin, how long would it take to grow to 50 pin? What are they asking for? What are we looking for? How long is looking for what? Time. So what do we have in this scenario? We have 50 and 25. So the future value is what? 50,000. The present value is what? 25,000. Okay. And the interest rate R is what? 4%. How long? We're looking for what? Time. Can somebody lead us through this question? Future value is what? Present value 1 plus R to the power time. So our future value is 50,000. Our present value is 25,000. Our interest rate is 12%. Our time we do not know. So this and this cancels. So we're going to have 2. It's got to 1.1 to the power time. Would I put 50,000? This one is double that. So don't ask me why did I remove the zeros. So I can put them if you want. They'll still cancel again. So at this point, the only way we can get the t is by introducing what? Logs. So log 1.1 to the power time. So the log will cause what? A t to drop. So making our t be log 2 over log 1.12. And in this case, we can calculate the time. So log 2 divided by log 1.12. So we're going to get 6.11 years. Are we understanding?
Yes.
All right. Akim, are we together?
Yes, I'm following.
All right. So go to our next question here. Question number 5. We can end there. So we are told that end of year worth. So basically, what is the end of year worth of Jan Christine, who receives an annual interest rate of 34% compounded monthly on 1 quarter. So we basically are being tested to calculate the effective annual rate. Remember, I said effective annual rate is given by what? 1 plus R over M, and here M minus 1. So our interest rate is what? 24%. Compounded monthly. Monthly means 12. So the power M, there's no time in this factor. Okay. So compounded what? Monthly. So minus 1. So we calculate the effective annual rate. So 0.24 divided by 12. Then 1 plus that answer. We're going to get 1.02. The power 4 minus 1. So this amount will give us 1.26. Okay. So minus 1, if we were asking for the effective annual rate, the effective annual rate is 26.8%. But we're going to multiply to this investment, so we're going to say the future value is equal to the present value, 1 plus the effective annual rate. So here the 1 quarter here is our present value, 1 plus 0.268. So when we multiply that, we're simply going to get 1.268 as our end of year width. All right, so we're going to end here for now. Thank you so much for your time and have a good evening.